All right, hey guys, it's Mr. Teeter back here for episode 3. And as I've been talking to you guys about in science, we're starting a new unit talking about energy. And more specifically, the difference between potential and kinetic. And potential really is just energy that could do work. And well, that's another interesting word. I mean, I just got done talking to you guys about initiative. And this, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with that. But I want to talk to you guys a little about potential. I have a sister. Her name is Melody Joy, and she is a super rad girl. I wish you guys could all meet her. She lives in Portland with her husband and her daughter, and she's Megan. How much younger is she than me?
Like 2 years, I think.
Like 2 years younger than me. So she's my baby sister. She always will be my baby sister. But I'm very protective of her. And the thing I want to tell you guys about her is that this is someone who has lived up to her potential and then some. And the reason I tell you that is because my sister was born with a condition called cerebral palsy. The doctors told her that she would not be able to walk or talk, and that she was pretty much kind of destined to be in a wheelchair the rest of her life. And that was my baby sister, and my baby sister has got grit like none other. I can remember growing up and being at school in elementary like you guys, and her being, I think she was 2 grades below me, so I was constantly in school with her until I moved on to junior high, and she was still in 4th grade or whatever. But I can remember always sticking up for her, and kids would make fun of her, the way she walked. She ended up having to put braces on her legs so that she could walk effectively. But again, right, I mean, miracle, like, I mean, she wasn't supposed to be able to walk at all. And you know how mean kids can be, right? But I can remember just actually I got in a couple fights, right? Just when people made fun of my baby sister, I would just get angry. But the cool thing about Melody Joy is that she just kept going and kept going and kept going. And, you know, she had surgeries and braces and all this stuff to help her combat this disease, this condition, and she just kept going. She is one of my heroes. And the reason I'm bringing her up is because of that potential. That was a phrase that I couldn't stand when I was in high school or junior high. My parents would always tell me, "You're just not living up to your potential, Mark. Why wouldn't you be more like your older brothers? Come on, just you have so much potential." And that phrase just got to me. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that. As we're talking about energy and we're talking about potential, energy that could do work, I tend to think about my own life, things that I could do. I used to use a lot of Post-it notes. You guys know the kind, Post-it notes, right? Those little sticky back things. And when my youngest son, Jackson, was little, it was our job as parents to make sure that we brushed his teeth. And we weren't the best at that. We would, sometimes we'd forget to brush his teeth, and that's our job. But we put a Post-it note on his bedroom door, and it was like, brush Jackson's teeth. It was on his bedroom door, and every time we bring him to bed, we were supposed to brush his teeth, which worked for 3 or 4 days. And it would remind us to do what we know we could do and know what we should do. But if I'm honest with you, about 3 or 4 days after it, I just became blind to that Post-it note. I didn't see it. Like, it was there, but I was so used to it, I didn't see it. And if I don't see it, I'm not gonna do it. And of course, we'd forget to brush his teeth again. Bad parents. But the idea here, what I want you to see, is that we have to do something. I have to do something. If I want my son to have good teeth, I've got to do something. It's more than just like, then we're back to that talk that I told you guys about initiative. You got to put action to it. Gotta live to the potential. So let's find a definition real quick. Siri, define potential.
As an adjective, it means having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. Do you want to hear the next one?
The capacity to become or to develop into something in the future. It's a great definition. Remember, potential energy is energy that could do work. Like, for instance, Cookie Monster. Does he have potential energy right here? Which, does he have more potential energy on the table, or does he have more potential energy up here? Well, up here, right? Because he could do more work, right? He can go like that. So potentially could do work. Now, what about other ways that energy, we have potential? You guys see me messing around with something right now. I'm just kind of pulling, this is garbage out of the recycle bin. And what I'm trying to do is I want to try to illustrate that you can make something out of things that seemingly aren't worth much. So I have a little treetop bottle of, or empty bottle of orange juice here, and my hope is that I can make it into a little machine. So I got some little axles here and I'm putting it on there, right? So while I'm doing that, Jackson, can you come do me a favor, buddy? Can you read something for me? So I'm gonna have my boy read you guys something as I build this. Okay. What's that from, bud?
It's from the Bible.
Oh, imagine that, from the Bible. Can you read it out loud for me, dude?
Matthew 25:14-30. The story about investment. It's always like a man going off an extended trip. He called his servants together and declared responsibilities. Wait, no, I didn't.
Yep, no, that's fine. He called his servants together and delegated responsibilities.
Delegated.
To one he gave $5,000. So here's what we got. We have this story. Jesus is talking with his disciples, and he's talking with a bunch of Pharisees as well. And he's like, he had this crazy way of communicating to people. Like when he spoke, people would listen. It's like the words that he had bred life. People wanted to be around him. They just crowded around him, and throngs of people to just come around to hear what he had to say. And in one of these times, he was telling a story about a businessman, and he goes around and he has 3 different people, and he says, I'm going to give you guys some money. And here's what happens. To one, and it's called the parable of the talents. To one, he gave $5,000 to another, $2,000, and to a third one, he gave $1,000 to. Then he left, and right off, the servant went to work and doubled his master's investment. The second did the same. But the man with a single thousand dug a hole and carefully buried his money. After a long absence, the master of those 3 servants came back and settled up with them. The one given $5,000 showed him how he had doubled his investment. His master commended him and said, well done, you're the man. The servant with the 2,000, same thing. Check it out, I made some money. I lived up to my potential. I doubled the investment. And the master says, you're the man, good job. And then the servant that was given 1,000, he said, master or boss, I know that you have high standards. I think of my parents. I think of when I was a kid. Why don't you live up to your potential? And I can see myself in this story. He says this. He says, master, I know you have high standards, and I hate careless ways. I know that you demand the best, and you make no allowance for error. I was afraid I might disappoint you, so I found a good hiding place and secured your money. Here it is, safe and sound, down to the last cent. That was kind of my reaction to my parents as well. My potential? Well, here's my potential. I never really actually took any risk. And the reason I'm making this video for you right now is, one, we're going to do an awesome experiment about taking stuff that's seemingly insignificant and turning into something awesome. But 2, I want you guys, you need to know this. Like right now in my life, I look back at when I was in junior high and high school, and I just want to like slap myself. I just want to be like, dude, what was I thinking? If I would have just tried, right? I just kind of coasted through. I did the least amount of work that I could do and I just coasted through. And right now, I wish that that wasn't the case. Because what you do right now will set you up for your future. It will set you up. Here's what he says. The master was furious. That's a terrible way to live. And I want you guys to think, this is Jesus speaking to people, and there's always a heavenly meaning to the parables. He's like, he was furious. Why would you live in such a way? Just getting the bare minimum done. That is criminal to live cautiously like that. If you knew I was after the best, why did you do less than the least? The least you could have done would have been to invest the sum with bankers, where at least I would have gotten a little interest. Take that $1,000 that you just put in a hole, and give it to the one who risked the most. So give it to your coworker over there who is actually doing something. Listen to this, and get rid of this play it safe who won't go out on a limb. Throw him out into the darkness. Boom. Some heavy words there from Jesus. We all have potential. We have potential based on our demographics, where we live, where we grew up, what school we go to. You have potential. You go into King's schools, you have a ton of potential. Now, are we better than anybody else? No, but you have been given an opportunity. You've been given an amazing opportunity to great education. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to squander it? Or are you going to take advantage of that? Are you going to make that investment and turn it into something more? Just like the parable said. Or are you going to be like the one who was too scared or just wanted to go and skate by? Because Jesus is pretty clear that it's not going to turn out too well for that guy. My sister, she did not let the naysayers, the bullies, even some of her teachers, she did not let those people get to her. I am beyond proud of my baby sister, Melody. In fact, if you guys could see her today, she is a beautiful young lady. She has a daughter of her own. She's married. She's working on her master's degree in school counseling. She is a pillar of the community, and she's trying to make a difference. What's your excuse for not making a difference? What's your excuse? You have Post-it notes that you just keep seeing, but you're not doing anything with? Do something. So for this assignment, here's what I have for you. I want you guys to take some garbage. I'm gonna give you guys a motor. I'll also give you guys, what else could I give you guys? I can give you guys a motor, and I'll give you guys something that illustrates potential. I'll give you guys a solar panel. I want you guys to harness the energy, some alternative energy. I don't care if you make a boat with a propeller. I don't care if you make a little matchbox car like I do, but I want you guys to harness the potential. Decorate it nice and neat. Let's see who can make the coolest, most rad. So how could I make this rad? I might put Optimus Prime on it. There you go. Okay. Or nah, I think Groot. I think Groot's a better person to put in there. There we go. Baby Groot. Make it cool. I want this to be a competition. And we'll bring him to school, and we will see who was able to harness the potential the best. And we'll turn that potential into kinetic. Okay? So that's what I got for you. Till next time, Mr. Teeter, out.